What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AV the Hero, back again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to continue to talk about these CU Buffs, Colorado Buffaloes, right? And what I noticed at the end of last game that had me a little scared. I ain't even gonna lie to you, right? And so basically, if you were like me over the weekend, you were tapped in, you were tuned in, you were locked into the game, and at every turn you were in the house going crazy, screaming, all types of things. My wife was running up and down the stairs trying to figure out what was happening. I'm throwing the shoe, leave me alone, it's getting good. We were supposed to go somewhere, we had to postpone it like 2 hours. I was locked in, trust me. And if you were like me still, after the game was over, you went down the rabbit hole. You needed to hear all of the takes. You needed to hear the receipts. You needed to hear the backtracking from the folks who said the receipts. And you needed to hear from the horse's mouth, Coach Prime, Shedeur, Travis Hunter, their takes and inputs on what happened during the game. And it was at this moment that I was like, wait a minute. This feels different. This feels like something that has not happened in college football for a while. This feels a little bit making me nerve-wracking. Can this be sustained? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. What we're going to talk about is something that I believe is changing the culture of college football, or will change the culture of college football if success can continue. And if it can't, it's going to send college football back into the dark ages. Let's get into it.
Triple B's! AB the Hero. Back at it, baby.
All right, so we're going to start here. As you see, is this clip of Travis Hunter during the post-game press conference. He got on that Dion shirt that he wore pre-game, which was kind of dope homage to the head man. But what I want you to do as you watch this clip is watch my man Travis's body language, right? Watch the confidence, listen to the confidence that he speaks with, right? Watch the words listen to the words that he chooses to use, all of these things, right? And compare that to what you typically hear from today's college athlete, the modern college athlete on every team in America, what they're preaching and telling your kids to say when they get in these situations, and just listen for that shift, right? And we'll come back and talk about it. Let's go.
Ain't no difference. Football is football, no matter who playing. You got to go out there and dominate whoever in your way. So that's my biggest thing. I went out there and dominated. A lot of people doubting me because I rated myself as #1 Heisman watch list. But now people praising me now because they know what I can do. They finally seen what I seen, my vision, and what the coach's vision is for me.
Hold up now. That's some confidence. I rated myself #1 on the Heisman watch list. All you got to go out there and do is dominate, and I dominated. When do you hear that? Where have you heard that in college sports? You don't. You hear a lot of, this is a team game. Don't give yourself too much praise. Don't speak too highly of yourself. Don't give them bulletin board material. It's just one game. My man already talking about the individual accolades, right? When you hear other folks talk, they be like, it's a team sport. We just want to win the championship. My man said I'm #1 on the Heisman watch list, despite team success. I caught that. If you're like me, you've been following sports for a while, that's not a normal post-game press conference from a Heisman candidate in week 1. That's not a normal post-game press conference from a college athlete, period, in general, right? And so as I watched that, I said, man, let me go see what else is popping here, right? Because there's a few cats on that team who had some excellent games, and I had to tap in with nobody else than Shedeur Sanders. Let's do it.
Today was it was like practice. A lot of y'all ain't believe in us. Even everybody asking me questions right now, which is crazy because you just got to understand our coach, Coach Prime, my dad. Everywhere he went, he was a winner. Every game, every opportunity, he took advantage of it. So a lot of y'all don't have, I'll say, the same knowledge and the same experience that he has. So how could y'all question what he's saying? He been out there. He got a gold jacket. He played in Super Bowls. A lot of people haven't, you know? So I feel like now y'all understand that what he's saying is real, and y'all understand what he's saying. And yes, I came from an FCS school, SWAC school, but to me it's no difference. Them hits still feel the same at all. I mean, I knew we was going to do this. The scoreboard just telling y'all that, you know, that's what's going on. But y'all ain't believe, nobody believed that we was going to do this. So we was fighting two battles, I'll say, for the team. I get off social media personally and let my brother, Deion Jr., the Well-Off Media account, let him run it in my YouTube. I let him run that stuff. But
Yo. All right. So once again, now my man just passed for 510 yards. So in my eyes, you can get in front of the camera and say whatever you want to say. But I'm just saying again, I watched this and I said to myself, this is different, right? And what he said, though, really started bringing me out of the hold on a second, I'm nervous, this might not be a good thing bag, because he said, you just got to know who our coach is. And by that, he said, you just got to know who my dad is, right? And it took me back to these professional days. I used to work over at a youth shelter. And I remember I had this one incident where this one girl was the baddest girl who ever could roll through the youth shelter. Terrible behavior. Not a terrible person. Behavior was less than likely, right? And one day her mom popped in. And her mama loud, screaming, doing all. And I said, that's where you get it from. Completely changed my perspective on her because I saw her mom and I said, you just got that from your mama. And now I see Shedeur and he giving this energy. HBCU, we did it. Y'all just figuring it out. We been known. And I said, I got to go tap in with Coach Prime because I know he giving that same energy. So I popped over to Coach Prime. And here's what he had to say.
Singled themselves out with their playing and their playing ability. A lot of guys you doubted. One of them from HBCU. I think he had 510 yards passing in a Power 5 football game. And he happened to be my son. And I'm proud of him tremendously. Defensively, we had some letdowns, but the guys came and made the plays when they needed. I think we broke a record. Everything we do seems like a record. 4 receivers with 100 yards. We didn't run the ball greatly, but we threw the heck out of the football. Savion, another back, played a great game. All the guys contributed, Dylan as well as Hankerson. The line did their thing. Fought their butts off. We got to fix some things on defense, especially special teams, because I think we gave up 3 or 4 turnovers. We gave up the kickoff. We had a
Listen, so I'm gonna cut Prime off there because we're gonna bring Prime back. Trust me, we're gonna bring Prime back. But you saw that HBCU talk. He was taking shots. If you go through this other thing, the shots is even more because dudes is trying to ask him questions and he asks, do you believe? Oh, I know who you are. Do you believe? You didn't believe, but now do you believe? You saw it firsthand. Oh, boy said, I don't know. Believe what? He said, oh, you don't. Never mind. Next question. So the energy from Prime was there. And so I wanted to see, though. I'm like, yo, this is Colorado. Is this the new thing that's happening? Because a lot of these college dudes getting that bread. When you start getting that bread, we see what happened in the NFL. You start to, T.O., Chad Johnson, you start to having more persona and more bravado with the way you speak. Your swag change. You throw on your shade with a hat and a hood. So I wanted to check in to see if that's consistent across sports. So I looked up some teams who had some success and had players who are in contention for some prestigious awards like the Heisman. And I wanted to see if they was carrying that same chip, that same like, you know what, we here, baby, let's do it. So we tapped over to Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy contender for this season here. And I wanted to see if he was rocking that same vibe. I listened to truthfully all of this to also to see if the coach was carrying that same, you know what I'm saying, bravado that Dion had, and he was not. But let's just hear a little bit of this. And it's really not about what they're saying. So we don't even need to know the question. But I just want to see you watch the posture, watch the way that he's speaking, watch this and see if you see the same level of confidence that you see in front of them Colorado boys. Let's go.
I feel good. I mean, we're 1-0. You always, coach said this, and walking off the field, there's a bit of frustration that a couple of whether coaches or myself, the players that have been here and seen and know how it should go, and been playing ball for a while in college, and you've been in a lot of games, been in a lot of reps, and in the first half there was a lot of it just felt like we weren't hitting on certain calibers and things like that we're going to hit on here soon. I spoke to a bunch of the leaders in game, right after coach took me out, and the message was, we got a special team. But the second part of the message was, we got a lot to get better at. Long way to go and a lot to get better at.
All right, so I'm going to stop you there. Now, I want to point out to you that the first maybe 15 seconds of that was him trying to figure out how to say what he wanted to say without sounding too crazy, right? And by crazy, I mean too like, this is what he wanted to say. He wanted to say, yo, we was out there tripping because we was making some mistakes and we realized we still killing these boys. We still in there. And we finna turn up and go to another level. But what I'm noticing is obviously it was a little bit of timidness in the way that he was talking, right? But then also it was not really about the performance of himself. He didn't come out here and say, you know what I can do and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's something there. That's something there. Obviously this cat is a baller. So I wanted to see who else. Let me see. That's you need more than one test subject to really compare things to. So I tapped over to Florida State. Let's see what they got to say over here.
Yeah, I got to come out faster than that. How I started. I started slow. I don't know if it's just first game jitters or what it was, but I just had to settle myself in. It's easy when I have great teammates around me just to push me and tell me they got my back no matter what. Got a great defense too that keeps us in the game the entire time, no matter turnovers, all that stuff. They have my back. Yeah, you got guys like Keon, Johnny, those guys making big time plays, making my job easy. But yeah, I mean, the offensive line stepped up. It starts up front every single time. They stepped up that second half and made it easy for me. So I'm grateful for them.
I definitely want to give a shout out.
All right, so here's what I'm saying. I just pointing this out because I wanted to give you a chance to juxtaposition these two different cultures that are happening right now within college football. You got my man Travis Jordan. I forgot his name for a second. It don't matter at the moment. My man is in Heisman contention. He's a baller. You hear him talking, and I cherry picked some of these questions just to be the first time that I heard them speak on camera. So. And that's where the other ones were too. First question on camera. And what you see from even him, he did talk about himself and his play and his work that he got to do. But it's the credit to the line. And these receivers just made it so easy for me to do my thing. It's the traditional way that athletes spoke. It's not the I am about to win the Heisman. I dominated. Y'all didn't believe in me. A kid from a HBCU, I'm on your head dunking like Shaq. It's a different vibe. And so for me, that is what had me alarmed. This is because typically I'm used to hearing this from college athletes. And so it was a bit jarring to hear that, right? And I'm of the belief that we have the capability to do anything, right? even if you're a child, you could teach your child firearm safety at 4 years old, but you got to put the work in to get them to be able to handle that powerful weapon at such a young age. And so having that type of confidence is an equally powerful weapon that you got to teach somebody how to wield, or else it could get reckless. And so I started to tap in with Well Off Media because I'm like, yo, what are they saying at practice, right? And shout out to Deion Sanders Jr., who Shedeur shouted out earlier, because he was somebody who is now running his socials because Shedeur not tapped in. But shout out to Shedeur too, but shout out to Deion Sanders Jr. So I tapped over there because I wanted to see, you know, like what's happening at practice. And here's what one of the coaches was saying on the practice.
All right, the day after, here's a warning sign for all of you, okay? Right now, everybody is saying what? Great game, you 1-0, you guys played great, you did all this shit. They trying to suck you in, okay? They want to suck you in. You can do no wrong right now. That's not it. We all know. Every man in this circle knows what? We have to get better. We have to be better this coming week than we were last week. We got to build on that. That's just the beginning of the foundation of what we're trying to do. We are trying to go somewhere. We're trying to do something special. Everybody say, oh, you shocked the world. That we ain't shocked nobody, okay? Because we went down there with what? The intent to do what? Win. Did we win?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did we play a perfect game?
Yes, sir.
Can we fix shit that we did wrong?
Yes, sir.
That's the expectation this week. You guys got me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And I said, I was watching this and I started doing this, snapping like he was a poet. I started going, amen, like he was in the pulpit preaching. And that's what I realized. I started getting more comfortable. I said, all right, yeah, stick your chest out, Travis. Stick your chest out there, Shedeur. As long as you understand what he's saying, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you bring a baby into the post game like they do in the NBA and just have your kid knocking over the water bottles and all of that. Just lock back in. Know that the hype is just hype. And know that that big old boulder, that snowball, will roll and it will get bigger. But as the heat get hotter, that bad boy will melt as well. So I told y'all earlier we were going to tap back in with Coach Prime, and this is that moment, because he touched down on the pregame press conference leading up to Nebraska, and they asked him a question about those headlines and how he feels about his players being tapped in with those headlines, and if it's a problemsome thing, and if they gonna let that get to them too much. And here's what Coach Prime had to say, and he brought it home for me. So let's do it.
Oh, I want them to read the headlines because I'm not stupid enough to think that they're not. You know, I hate when coaches say that. Don't read your clippings. No, read your clippings. You balled out. I want you to read them. But you got to understand, everything they say ain't true. Either way. And we start winning, not in the news press and not on Saturday, but we started today. We started with the scouting report today and understanding today. Yesterday, probably half the team was in watching film and getting prepared and studying. So I love that aspect of who these young men are and what they want. But they've seen the results of hard work and labor. They've seen that, hey man, all we gotta do is win. You see all the attention that we're getting? Like that has registered now. And I think that's something that they couldn't fathom. They didn't understand that it could happen because of the light that shined up on us, and we're thankful for that. But these young men, they know now, if, man, we just ball out, we're gonna get the love that we desire. And that's all they want. They want attention, focus, and a little love and light. And ain't nothing wrong with that, as long as they use it in the right way.
If I had holy water, I was throwing it at the screen. I had my hair splashing it because he was preaching again. he said something to me, and if y'all know me, I equate a lot of things on this channel to parenting, because I do think that there are a lot of elements that a good coach or a good leader or a person who is developing character in you has that comes through and can be developed during parenting. And he said something at the end. He said they just want a lot of attention, some love, and focus. And that was something that I realized when my son was a little baby, is that he needed some attention. We needed to play or do something. He needed some love, some hugs, some kisses, and all of that stuff. And the other one wasn't focus, it was food. But I understand what he's saying, because the food that and the focus that he's talking about is food for your soul. And that type of conversation that it seems like he's having with his players about how to manipulate this attention, how to change this atmosphere that they're in, how to utilize the rays of viewership and turn that into power and energy and to motivation, to me, is what they need. And it's shocking to me, because I think that for so long we have shied away from allowing the attention of others to be a motivator for us to succeed. It has happened, right? We have done it. We have went out and you go and buy the fanciest car because you want people to feel like you're successful, right? You go out and you go get the most expensive shoes because you want people to feel like you're successful. But it's only a select few of us who say, you know what? I want to go do the work so I am successful. And I feel my man, Coach Prime, is creating a bunch of monsters who are doing the work as of now, who are about to be very successful. And I'm here for it. Tap in with your boy, AB the Hero. We out. Peace.
Be the hero. No, not peace. Plus one. Triple B's. We out.
Yeah, it is.